What is going on, college football fans around the world? And in today's preview video, we will be covering the Miami Hurricanes versus the Virginia Tech Hokies. These two teams are facing off this Saturday, November 17th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN at Lane Stadium. It looks like there are no announcements for this video. I know, big surprise. But I guess be sure to click the subscribe button down below if you haven't done so already. And also click the notification bell as well. That way you know when we go live. And we've been giving away a lot of free t-shirts in the live streams. And I know that you guys don't want to miss that. And I know, Coop, you're late with your preview video. Well, the thing is, I've been trying to think of some headlines for this game, and I think that I might have a couple of good ones. Two mediocre ACC teams meet in Blacksburg. Two previously ranked opponents face off this Saturday. The underdogs versus the underdogs. Okay, I know. I'll stop bashing these two teams, but let's be realistic here. Miami and Virginia Tech both had pretty high expectations set for their seasons, and both of them definitely did not meet those expectations. But let's go ahead and talk about some history between these two teams, and boy did they have some history. Miami and Virginia Tech have played a lot over the years, and to be exact, they've met on the field 35 times in total. Now, Miami does lead this series 21-14. And the game last year, the Canes did come out with a victory 28-10. So let's transition over to some key notes for this game. Now let's be real. Both of these teams have no chances of playing in the national championship this year. They also don't have a chance of playing in the ACC championship either. So both of these teams are basically playing for a bowl game at this point. Now, a very interesting fact here, Miami has been to a bowl game for the last 5 years straight. Okay, that's you know, okay, that's all right. 5 years, right? You know, Virginia Tech has been to a bowl game for the last 25 years straight. Virginia Tech is in a situation here that they could potentially snap a 25-year bowl streak. That's scary. Miami has to win at least one of their next two games to become bowl eligible, but Virginia Tech has to win both of their next two games to make it to a bowl game this year. Now, there is the potential that Virginia Tech could schedule another game. There was kind of a weird thing going on with that, but nobody knows for sure if they're even going to do that. But there is no denying, Miami Hurricanes fans, we all know this, that Blacksburg is a tough place for Miami to play. A tough place for the Canes to play ball. The Canes have lost 8 of their last 11 trips to Blacksburg. So let's move on to some stats for both of these teams. I'm going to throw up a quick little image here. Keep in mind that your boy Coop is not the best at Photoshop, but it gives you a visual to look at. And also keep in mind these numbers are rounded up or down respectively. I'm not doing any of that 0.1 or 0.9 stuff. So coming into this game, the Miami Hurricanes are averaging points per game 31, Virginia Tech averaging 30. Points allowed against them per game, Miami coming in at 20, Virginia Tech 31. Average yards per game, Miami coming in at 381 with Virginia Tech coming in at 431. Now this next stat is the biggest difference between these two teams. The Miami Hurricanes yards allowed against them per game, they are averaging 267. Virginia Tech is averaging a whopping 447 yards allowed against them per game. And as we touched on at the beginning of the video, both of these teams have been performing poorly, honestly, this season in general, and especially over the last few games. Miami has dropped the last 4 games in a row, and Virginia Tech has dropped the last 3 games in a row. It's been tough sledding for both of these teams this season. So let's go ahead and talk about some keys for a Miami victory in this game. Number 1, the wide receivers for Miami need to be better at catching the ball. Now listen, I understand that the woes at the quarterback position continue for Miami, but the wide receivers currently aren't helping this situation. There have been too many drop balls over the last few games, so the wide receivers need to be better at catching the ball in this game. Number 2, Miami's defense needs to be prepared to be on the field a lot. Let's be real, that's just what is happening with this Miami program right now. The offense is known for going 3 and out, having to punt, defense back on the field. So the defense is going to play a lot. Now, I feel like they potentially need to pace themselves, but give it their all at the same time, if that makes sense. And lastly, let's be real, I had play calling needs to improve at number 3. But we all know that's not going to happen right now. But it darn well better happen in the offseason. It better. So instead, I say, Miami, get your seniors to a bowl game. So, keys for a Virginia Tech victory in this game. How does Virginia Tech pull together and beat the Canes? Number 1, Virginia Tech has been devastated with injuries this year. And I feel you guys, that's tough. That is a really rough thing to deal with. Some of the young guys need to be prepared to step up and play big for Virginia Tech in this game. Number 2, Virginia Tech's defense is allowing, again, an average of 447 yards against them per game. That's a lot. If a team puts up that kind of yardage on you, there's a pretty good chance you lose the game. And although the Canes have been struggling offensively, Virginia Tech has been struggling defensively. So the Hokies need to limit Miami's yardage in this game if they want to win. And lastly, I'm going to use the same last point that I used for Miami. If you want to send your seniors off right, Virginia Tech, the least you can do is compete for a bowl game. So go out there and play your tails off for these seniors. Now moving on to the part of the video that 90% of the viewers will probably skip because it is pointless, but I continue to put it in the video. The ESPN matchup predictor. ESPN has Miami's win percentage chance coming in at 63.2% and Virginia Tech coming in at 36.8%. So ESPN says the Canes are going to win this game. But what does Coop think about this game? I have predicted a loss or 2 so far this season. What am I thinking for the Virginia Tech game? Can Miami march into Blacksburg and come out with a W with this struggling offense? Miami most certainly, absolutely can come out of Blacksburg with a W, and they will 14-10. Now I understand a lot of you are thinking 14-10, really, Coop? Yes. Virginia Tech, number 1, has been devastated with injuries. The Miami Hurricanes are struggling offensively, but the defense has been balling out. They've just been getting tired. I really think this will be a low-scoring affair for both of these teams, but Miami realizes what's at stake here. They're currently 5-5. I think Virginia Tech is 4-5. But I really think it's time for Miami to just step up and finally get to see what winning feels like again. And this is the game to do it. Go ahead and get your bowl eligibility and go ahead and force Virginia Tech to schedule that 3rd game at the end of the year to try to get theirs. Like I said, Miami can't seem to score points, but Virginia Tech is just too beaten and battered to win this game, even in Blacksburg. But be sure to let me know your score predictions down below. Miami and Virginia Tech fans both. Virginia Tech, Any of you have made it this far into the video, I welcome your trash talk. Please leave it down below. Insert it in the comment section. A Miami Hurricanes fan will promptly reply, I promise you. But it's all in good fun. That's what college football is all about. Guys, college football is coming to an end. We don't have a lot of time left. So enjoy these last few games. I know especially for Canes fans and probably for Virginia Tech fans as well, it's been a rough season. We know how each other feels in this situation. So let's come out and enjoy these last couple of games because I know it's been rough for both of us. And don't forget, guys, I will be streaming the night before the game, taking phone calls, and we will be going live during the game as well. I'll be hooking you guys up with links and things for the game, and we may or may not do a giveaway. We'll see what happens. But I had some big donators last week. Thank you guys so much for those. But remember though, guys, we are all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it is always better when you get to rep the U. College football vids, peace out, guys. And I would like to give a very special thank you to all of the Patreon supporters. I actually have 3 patrons on there now currently. These guys right here, thank you so much for your monthly pledge. That goes towards either upgrading my equipment, prizes for viewers, and the rest of it goes towards my monthly contribution to St. Jude. So thank you guys so much for that.